Hi, my name is Harlan Tull. I'm the president of the National Association of State Directors for People Transportation Services. We've been asked by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the National Transportation Safety Board to take a look at an accident or the results of an accident that occurred on November the 10th of 1993 in Snyder, Oklahoma. In that accident, a 20-passenger Thomas Minotaur was involved in pulling out in front of a tractor trailer and was struck by the tractor trailer. As a result of the accident, 4 children were killed. Now, we've been asked by recommendation of the National Transportation Safety Board to take a look at 2 things. Number 1, inform our membership of what occurred in the accident. Was it a driver error? Could the driver have had her vision obscured by both the door post here and or the vision obscuration of the service door itself? Was that the cause? So we're to notify and maybe better train our drivers or train them that they have to do something besides sit there in a stoic position to see what's out there. The second thing we're asked to do is to look at the school bus itself. Do we need to redesign the school bus to take away the vision obscuration? In this accident, the school bus, the 20-passenger Minotaur, pulled out in front of a large tractor trailer that was moving at about road speed as far as we can determine. We're going to take a look at not only a small bus, but a variety of other buses to determine what vision obscuration there is on the various size buses. The National Safety Board has said that the school bus in its present configuration is approximately 46 times safer than the family car. What can we do to improve on almost perfection? There are little bells and whistles that we can apply, but for the most part, the school bus in its present configuration is the safest mode of surface transportation that we have. So in our investigation, we're going to show not only the recreation of the accident at the intersection in Oklahoma, where Randy McLaren, the state director from Oklahoma, narrates and shows us the accident recreation, but we're going to take a look at a variety of buses and determine if there is, in fact, any vision obscuration. We feel that there is none and that the present configuration will show us that we are as safe as we can be. What we are going to show, however, in a variety of situations on a variety of buses, is that the driver cannot rely on just sitting in a solid rock position and looking out of the looking to their side, his or her side, but has to, in fact, lean forward and lean backward at every intersection to make sure that nothing obscures the vision of oncoming traffic to the driver of the school bus. This begins a recreation of the accident in Snyder, Oklahoma, showing a duplicate of the school bus involved in the accident. This is an identical bus approaching the actual intersection with an identical tractor pulling the actual trailer through the intersection.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Time is now approximately 2:41 p.m. We've moved the bus back so the front bumper is even with the stop sign, which in turn is 30 feet from the edge of the roadway. We're again going to do the stationary observations from this position. The truck is now in the location at cone 7 seconds from impact. Now move the truck forward to cone number 6. The truck has now been moved forward to cone number 5. The truck has now been moved forward to cone 4 seconds from impact. The truck has now been moved to cone 3 seconds from impact. The truck has been moved forward to cone 2 seconds from impact. The truck has been moved forward to cone 1 second from impact. This is a configuration that the bus and the truck were in. It's an approximation during the impact phase.
This graphic depiction of the travel path of the 2 vehicles involved in the accident shows the obscured line of sight at one point. From the school bus driver's narration of what occurred, the true period of time of vision obscuration was much worse. On 4 different occasions, she stated in the report that she looked left and right, but at no time did she lean forward or backward to see around the obstruction. On page 20 of the National Transportation Safety Board report, it states this: the Snyder School District Director of Transportation said that the school bus driver had complained of a blind spot in the Minotaur about a month before the accident. The school bus driver stated she noticed a blind spot shortly after school started in September of 1993. She said that when she was stopped at stop signs in town, she sometimes would not see any traffic coming. However, when she began to pull out, she would see a car coming down the road that had been obscured by the vertical support structure. The Director of Transportation told her to adjust to the view obstruction. She said that her method was to stop at the intersection, look, pull closer to the intersection, stop again, and look again. The school bus driver said that on the day of the accident, she never saw the tractor semi-trailer, even though she had looked just before moving into the intersection. On page 36 of the report, it states this: the school bus driver told the safety board that she was aware of the view obstruction and had reported it to her supervisor. He told her to adjust to the view obstruction but offered no further guidance. The method she said she developed consisted of stopping at intersections, slowly moving forward and stopping again. This technique would not circumvent the blind spot and would in fact prolong its duration because the occluded zone would move forward with the bus. Although the safety board's tests indicated a view obstruction of about 4 seconds in duration, these tests were conducted with a stationary school bus. Before the accident, however, the school bus, as well as the truck, was moving toward the point of impact, increasing the period of time that the truck was obstructed from the school bus driver's view. Therefore, the safety board concludes that because of the right front vertical support structure, the approaching truck may have been obscured from the school bus driver's view for 5 to 7 seconds before the collision. This scene recreates a driver pulling up to the stop sign and looking both ways. Notice how she leans forward and backward to see around the obstruction of the doorpost and the service door. As she leans to view around the obstruction, we see a van parked at the midpoint of the obstructed area view that we saw in the Oklahoma recreation. We've used a vehicle parked 282 feet from the bus, which is smaller than the tractor trailer involved in the actual accident. The intent here is to show that all school buses, indeed all vehicles, have some degree of vision obscuration. Some obstructions are worse than others due to the size and location of the mirrors. Clearly, from the driver's viewpoint shown here, any obstruction can be compensated for by the driver leaning forward and backward. As a result of its investigation of this accident, the National Transportation Safety Board made the following recommendations to the National Association of State Directors of Pupil Transportation Services. Notify your members of the circumstances of this accident and develop effective driving strategies for overcoming the view obstructions inherent in school bus design. The second, coming under H 9416, said, cooperate with the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration to determine whether the view obstructions in the school buses can be reduced through design or equipment modifications. Approximately 500,000 school buses are on the road every day, transporting 25 million pupils to and from school. From tests and our filming, the obscuration of parts of the oncoming roadway could be compensated for by the driver leaning forward and backward to obtain a full scene of oncoming traffic. An experienced, seasoned driver would make sure of any oncoming traffic before pulling out onto the roadway. This is accomplished by seeing the whole picture, the big picture, of the roadway and of oncoming traffic. No amount of safety enhancements can compensate for the actions of the driver. The key is preventing the accident before it occurs. If the driver stopped at the proper location, then lead forward and backward to eliminate the obscuration, the bus could proceed in safety. Clearly, the answer to the NTSB recommendations is that the driver should look to make sure there's no oncoming traffic. That has to be done in any type of vehicle because all vehicles have some door or window post or other blind spot created by vehicle construction. Door posts are part of the skeletal system of the school bus, which makes the bus so safe, especially for rollover and side crashes. If part of the skeleton is removed, the crash barrier is removed and the integrity or safety of the bus is lessened. We carry America's most precious cargo, the future of America, and we have to see that these kids get to and from school in a very safe manner. And we think we do that on the existing big yellow bus. the friendly bus that you see on the highways and byways of America.